Hey guys, Eric Peacock here. On week 3 of our Fit Ministries, we're here today to talk about two things, non-negotiables and big rocks. And those things need to be the priority within your day. And we're going to rank these accordingly. In your handout this week, there's a great story about a professor that is a philosophy professor that talks about putting rocks in a jar. And I want you to read that because it really kind of summarizes what we're going to talk about today. Too often we make these lists, but we don't prioritize the things on that list, and we end up doing a lot of busy work things that don't really fulfill us or give us any sense of accomplishment. So what we need to do is to learn how to prioritize things and give them a category. So number one category, these should be the most important things, are going to be your non-negotiables. These are things that you need to do to be the best version of yourself. So those type of things would include maybe meditation. For me, it's like getting up in the morning, doing my devotions, my prayer time. It's time with your family. It's exercise. It might be your walk with your neighbor where you get to have social time. You get to define what it is, but it's something that when you do it, it helps you kind of focus better and just really gets your mood and your mindset, everything in the right place. And I'll use myself as an example, and that doesn't mean you have to do what I do, but I get up in the morning. Like I said, I do my prayer and devotion time. I do some meditation. I do some journaling. I always write down 3 things I have gratitude for, and that's my mindset morning. I call it my spiritual workout. My mindset or miracle morning is a good way to describe it. We talked about that in the first week. So that's number one. Number two, after that, I typically will go to the gym and do my exercise. So I've got two of my three non-negotiables out of the way right away in the morning, which really sets me up for success later in the day. Because a lot of times I don't know what the day is going to have. There might be new challenges that arise or situations that arise. But mentally and physically, I feel much better. I have more energy. I have better mental focus. My mood's better. So I'm in a better position to deal with those things by doing those non-negotiables and getting them done early as possible before something comes in that can sidetrack them. And usually one of my other ones is family time. Always having family time or friend time. Relationships are really important to me, so I always try to really make those non-negotiables. And some days I might be, instead of going, home to my family, I might be catching up with an old friend. That would be a non-negotiable. So really non-negotiables are things that should occur unless there's an emergency of some sort or some kind of some kind of crazy weather or something that forces you to stay home, or you waking up sick. That would be the only time you wouldn't do your non-negotiable. Now, big rocks are a little bit different. Big rocks are things that you need to get done or goals you need to accomplish to move towards your ultimate goal. And they can be monthly, weekly, and daily. So monthly, you might have a 3 big rock goals that you have, maybe for your business, for your family, whatever it is. But you have to define what those big rocks are and be really clear. We talked about SMART goals and purpose, but you want to know what those big rocks are that you need to get done to make it to that goal. So you want to make sure and identify your monthly ones, your weekly ones, like what things need to happen this week. And I would say, what are your top 3 things that need to happen this week to move you closer to where you want to go? And then daily, what are your top 3 things you need to do today? That helps you prioritize, because a lot of times you'll be working on something that's a big rock, and one of those shiny objects will come up. Somebody will have the God a minute meeting or something to try to distract you, and you can differentiate on which things should I do, because you'll start to find when you're working on your big rocks, there's a lot of things that are trying to pull you away and get you off point. But when you know what your big rocks are and you have them clearly defined, you will be able to do a better job of scheduling your time to work on the things that matter most versus just reacting to your time. So really, really important to identify these things. And those are the big, like for instance, I'll give you an example to kind of wrap this video up. If I had a sales goal of $5,000, I had to sell $5,000 of, let's say, personal training this week. The things I would do, the big rocks I would do, would be to follow up on all leads and prospects that I've gotten in from my Facebook ads, from my Google ads, from other campaigns. So make sure I have dedicated follow-up time, making at least 5 follow-up calls a day. Number 2 would be to put out at least one marketing thing today, either on social media or email, some type of marketing activity every day. And then number 3 would be to actually go after my inactive clients list, because I count inactive clients that haven't been in for a while as new sales, because it's income that I'm not counting on. So those would be 3 things that I could put into my big rocks for the week, is to call all my inactive clients, make sure I spend time daily talking to at least 5 new prospects. And then number 3 would be to make sure that I'm doing at least one marketing activity every day. That would be 3 big rocks I could do for that goal. So just hopefully that gives you an example. But really important, prioritize the non-negotiables first to be the best version of yourself, and then the big rocks. and then the busy work. A lot of times we get that skewed out of alignment, and we end up at the end of the day just tired. We were busy, but we weren't productive, and we don't feel like we accomplished anything. So that's my lesson for this week. Stay tuned next week for the next lesson. Thanks for being part of Fit Ministries.